Hello, and thank you for joining us at the ARC of Fort Bend County Parent Support Group. Today is August 2nd, 2018, and our Parent Support Group meeting today is about strategies for a successful back to school. We're glad you can join us today. Just to give you a little background about the Parent Support Group, we are a group of parents and advocates and people in the community who want to get together and share information about our children with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I'll tell you a little bit about the ARC of Fort Bend County as well. The ARC of Fort Bend County was formed in 1968, so we are a 50 years young organization, and we were formed by parents and friends and professionals and people who just wanted to improve the lives of people with intellectual developmental disabilities. Our mission is to ensure opportunities for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to maximize their quality of life in the community. We advocate for special needs of individuals with IDD from birth all throughout their life, and we have many different programs here at the ARC. If you'd like to learn more about the programs at the ARC of Fort Bend County, please visit our website at www.arcoffortbend.org. My name is Carrie Axtell, and I am a program director here at the ARC. I primarily have programs dealing with youth. So we have things such as this parent support group that you're participating in today. We also have a teen-tween respite event, which is for all Fort Bend County residents with an intellectual developmental disability, ages 11 to 18. Our next event coming up will be on August the 10th, and it's just a fun night for the kids, a great chance to practice social skills, and a fun night for parents to escape and get some rest and relaxation themselves. Another aspect of what I do here at the ARC is parent training and education and presentations and events. I also will do a review of IEPs or special education programs for students and for our members of the ARC of Fort Bend. And also, if needed, if necessary, I will attend ARD meetings to support our members of the ARC in their child's education. So that's a little bit about the ARC of Fort Bend and what I do here. But we also have many great programs, like I said, throughout the adult life of an individual with IDD as well. So if you have interest in things like social recreation or bowling or Special Olympics, we have one of the largest adult Special Olympics groups here in Fort Bend County, and it's phenomenal. 9 sports and a lot of fun. So we encourage you to find out more on our website and join us. So today's topic, strategies for successful back to school. When you're parenting a child with an intellectual developmental disability, it can be very overwhelming. And it just helps to have the support of others sometimes. And that's why this parent support group is so important. Parents share the ideas and concerns that they have, and they can receive information about resources and different topics of interest. This parent support group is open to all Fort Bend County residents. Anybody who is a parent, guardian, loved one of an individual child with intellectual developmental disabilities is welcome. And this participation is voluntary, of course, and it's just for general information purposes. We want to make sure that we don't endorse or make any specific representations about the information or the opinions that might be expressed here, but we hope you find some good information here that you can take back and apply and see what works for you and your family best. We have, we'll go ahead and move on to our presentation portion, but I wanted to give you some information about how to reach me if you have any questions about either the programs here at the ARC, or if you have questions about this presentation. There are 2 handouts that go along with this presentation. The first one is called The Importance of Keeping an IEP Notebook, and I'm happy to share these articles with you. So the importance of keeping an IEP notebook is one of the first articles that I'm going to be talking about, and I'll describe the IEP notebook, and also strategies for a successful back to school. So this is also another article that I have about getting back to school and some of the strategies that you might find helpful for your child. So here is the email address and phone number to reach me here at the Arc of Fort Bend. My email address is kaxtell@arcoffortbend.org. And then you can also reach me at my phone number, 281-494-5924. Let me know if you have any questions at all. All right, so we're going to talk about Parent Notebook. This is my daughter's parent notebook, or the IEP notebook that I have for my daughter. And this happens to be for 5th grade. She's going into 7th grade now. But this is a great tool that I use and something that I found very helpful in the years of being a parent of a child with a disability, and how to keep myself organized and just feel more confident walking into that ARD meeting and knowing what my child's plan is and hopefully where we're heading for that year. So this information actually is a good portion of it you will find in the Rights Law, on the Rights Law website. Also, they have many wonderful books there on rights law as well. So if you're looking for some good advocacy type materials, I highly recommend checking out Rights Law, and that's with a W, WRIGHTSLAW.com. And Pete Wright and his wife Pam Wright are just professionals in this area, extremely knowledgeable, and they have a lot of great resources for parents. So I highly recommend that. And they will guide you on how to develop your own parent's notebook as well. But briefly here, you see the first tab is your child's IEP. So what you do is you just transfer the IEP from last school year. If you happen to have developed your child's annual goals, let's say it was March of the prior school year and now you're starting a new school year, you'll transfer that IEP over to the new school year IEP notebook. And then throughout the year, if you have more ARD meetings or you have amended ARDs, you'll take that documentation and add that here to this tab as well. So you always have the ongoing information that you need for your child. Second tab here is progress reports and report cards. So of course throughout the school year you're going to have report cards and you're going to have IEP progress reports. So this is just a great way to help compile that and keep all that organized in one space as well. Also, when you go to ARD meetings, it's helpful to bring this with you because then you have the record of your child's academic year so far. The next tab is for assessments and evaluations. Now, this isn't going to change every year, of course, unless you've had have multiple evaluations. But usually you'll have an evaluation every maybe 1, 2, 3 years. So you just move that over, your most recent evaluation, no later than every 3 years should you be having a full individual evaluation. But this is the tab where you would keep your child's latest evaluation data. And then the next tab is going to be correspondence. Correspondence tab is to keep maybe teacher notes, emails, things that information that you have throughout the school year. And then the last tab is sample work. And I really like this one. This particular tab is very helpful for showing progress for your child throughout the school year. If you're able to keep quizzes or homework samples, worksheets that your child did in class for various subjects, and the level of assistance maybe they needed or they were able to do independently, and you can compare that over the school year. That's really helpful when it's time for you to have that ARD meeting, because then you have some good data and some sample work to show for your child. If you aren't receiving any homework or sample work or quizzes home, that's something you can request of your child's teachers. So consider that. It can be a very helpful tool with tracking your child's progress throughout the year, is some of that sample work, homework, quizzes, and whatnot. So that's the parent notebook. That is the first thing you should definitely get in order as the school year is about to begin is that parent notebook. Having that together will really help you. The next thing is going to be review your child's IEP plan and make sure that it's still up to date and it's still relevant for your child. You know, maybe it's been a few months and maybe there's been some significant changes for your child, health-wise or behavior-wise, learning-wise. So just do a review of your child's IEP and make sure all those things are still relevant. If your child has had any significant changes in the past, let's say it's over the summertime or past few months since the last IEP or has been developed, or you have had an ARD meeting, then you're going to want to contact the school 2 weeks or so before school starts, just to see if you can, if it's a major concern that you have, you might want to call an ARD meeting. If it's something that maybe you want to talk to the teacher about, if you would like to touch base with the teacher before school starts, you know, that's definitely something you should consider if there's been some changes in your child's health, behavior, or learning needs. So the next recommendation I have is to create a personal folder about your child. In that personal folder is going to be, first thing is to develop a one-page description about your child, and not just a repeat of their IEP. You already have a 30-page IEP document, so there's no need to repeat the IEP. What I'm talking about here is the things that aren't in the IEP. Who is your child that you wish that this teacher knew? Because more than likely, starting a new school year, you might have a brand new teacher that doesn't know your child yet. So this is just an opportunity to introduce this new teacher to your child, to get to know who they are at home, in the community, the extracurricular things that they participate in, you know, their likes and dislikes. Keep it brief. This is one page. We don't want to, you know, write an essay to the teacher, but just something that kind of helps them get to know your child. Include a picture if it's appropriate, some things that maybe motivate your child. It's just a chance to get that teacher to know your child a little bit better and maybe understand your child a little bit better and start the school year off right. In that letter, you're also going to want to include your name, phone number, email address, however you like to be contacted. And that shows that you want to make sure that that teacher knows how to contact you and talk to you and get those open lines of communication. The other thing to include with this packet is also going to be your child's latest IEP goals, especially as your child gets into the higher grades of middle school and high school. Not every teacher may have had the opportunity yet to have a copy of your child's IEP. So providing that and having that right there lets you know at least that you know that teacher has received a copy of your child's IEP. The next thing you're going to do, now that you've developed your one-page personal description of your child, you've reviewed the IEP, you've reviewed the goals, they're still relevant, and you've got the last copy of the IEP and goals. You've got all that together in a packet. Now it's time to attend the teacher meet and greet with your child before school starts. Most schools have some type of meet the teacher before the first day of instruction. So that's the time that I'm talking about. If your school district doesn't have a meet and greet before school, then maybe you can consider contacting the school, asking if they can if you can meet with the teacher before school starts to kind of give an introduction, and also as an opportunity if your child needs to have a tour of the school. But at that teacher meet and greet before school starts, this is when you would bring this, bring your child's one-page description about who they are and the copy of your child's IEP, and just introduce yourself. So this is a chance for the teacher to get to know you, see your face, and identify that this is the parent that is with this child, and this parent has taken an interest in their child's education and just wants to collaborate and work with the teacher. So I keep it very short and sweet. I say, hi, My name is Carrie Axtell. I'm the mom of Haley, and we just wanted to introduce ourselves. We're very excited about this school year, and I have a little info sheet that's just about Haley, and then also a copy of her IEP, and we're just really looking forward to having a great school year. Please know that we're here to support our daughter in her education, and anything that we can do at home to help support her learning in school. Here's my contact information. I'd love for you to reach me and contact me. So I know you're really busy. There's lots of parents here tonight, but thanks for just a moment of your time, and I look forward to working with you this school year. So just something sweet and short like that. And then the teacher, after all the parents have gone and it's been the hubbub, and then maybe they'll have a chance to read over your one-page description a little bit better, and they'll know that you're the parent that is really open and wanting to communicate with them. And also that was a good introduction, so that later on when you have any questions or concerns, you can feel free to contact them and remind them, hey, you remember I'm Haley's mom. I just wanted to touch base about this, or I had a question about that. Also, it helps for coming close to the IEP goals being due. Maybe it's 6 or 8 weeks when your child's IEP goals should be reported on, the progress that your child has made. When you've opened the door to good communication before the school year even begins, then it usually is helpful for later on when you want to ask questions about how your child is doing and how they're progressing on their goals. So those are a couple tips I have there. And then also another tip that I have is to give your child a tour of the school, especially if your child needs some additional help with becoming familiar with surroundings. If a transition or change is difficult for them or hard for them, then you definitely want to see about either giving them the tour, maybe during the back to school night, or the teacher meet and greet might be a little overwhelming for them. And if so, then ask the school if you can come at a different time when there's not quite so many children there and it's not quite so chaotic. And that way you can walk through the step with your child about, okay, here's what a typical day will look like. You're going to be going to this class, and then here's where your next class is located. Oh, look, here's where the restrooms are. Here's where the cafeteria is. Here's your cool down space. If you ever, need to have a time to cool down, here's where you would go. So just to introduce them to those types of things. And then finally, to me, the most important thing is always communication. So if you start off your school year with an introduction of your child with the teacher, and you keep that good communication open throughout the school year, that's a good way to help you in that school year to keep that good communication. Any questions the teacher has or that you have for the teacher, you've already established a good rapport. So that is what we have for our strategies for successful back to school. There is no one right way, but we together as parents, we can share additional information. So if you have any tips or ideas that you would like to share, we encourage you to share those with us. Please contact me here at the ARC. I'd love to hear what you have to say and what you have to share. So until next time, have a great week.